like a black woman in the 1880s that is playing football. Like, oh my gosh, that's like, I'm so shocked. I've never heard that. That's mental. So obviously I went to school here, and even in primary secondary school we never learned about the Black Scottish experience in history. And then I went to university in Scotland and left with a history degree, and still I know virtually nothing about the Black Scottish experience. The internet is a wonderful thing, so let's see what I can find out. So I'm going to start with Black Scottish history. Okay. Black population of Scotland has a long history. That's good to know. Where is it? Okay, Scotland and slavery, Black History Month 2018. So that's one thing that's popped up. Scots proudly played their part in the abolition of the trade. Okay, but it's still not really talking about the Black Scottish experience, or where these people were in the history. Okay, so this one talks a little bit about the slave trade, which is good because I think for a long time that history had kind of been like very much hidden, particularly in Glasgow. So like a lot of people don't know, and I didn't know until recently, that Glasgow was actually built on a lot of slave money. They had one of the biggest tobacco ports in the UK, and they had a lot of slaves in the Caribbean. So they played a huge role in the Atlantic slave trade, and it's like that is how a lot of the buildings we see in Glasgow today, they were built on that money from those merchants. The African roots of the Celtic clans. Ooh, that's interesting. Not heard that before. Oh, so they think there was a Black King of Scotland, but I don't know how right this is. But basically, that in the early history of Scotland, so 997 to 1005, he was the king of somewhere near Tayside. Okay, footballers in the late 1800s. A women's footballer, which is cool, Carrie Boosted. That's really cool. It's like a black woman in the 1800s that is playing football. Like even now that's difficult, so I can't even imagine what it was like for her. Like, oh my gosh, that's like, I'm so shocked. I've never heard that. That's mental. Oh my gosh, right, so this is cool. There is Andrew Watson, who was Scotland's first black international footballer. His father was a plantation manager and former slave owner from Orkney. So I'm guessing, because it doesn't actually say, a lot of like slave owners and plantation owners had relationships or usually raped women on their plantation. And so I'm guessing that Andrew was the result of that. So the Scottish Athletic Journal have said about Andrew in 1885, they said that even though he's been subjected to vulgar and I'm guessing racist insults on the pitch, he still preserved his gentlemanly demeanour. That was actually really interesting because I found a good few points and stories and black Scottish people that I had never heard of before. There's just like so much to unpick, especially with Black History Month now becoming as much as a look at history, it's a celebration of Black British culture, and I would have loved to see more about the experience of Black Scottish people in the 20th century. I think back to myself at about 12 years old, and it would have been so nice to see like a Black Scottish, doesn't even matter if they're male or female, figure to look up to and know that like you belong here. So if you know of any really cool Black Scottish historical figures, let us know in the comments below, because we too have shaped Scotland's history.